The annual tax form distribution process has many different costs associated with it. First and foremost is your printing and mailing. And those costs include your paper, your envelopes, your postage, your return postage. Those costs include your administrative work to put together the information that's necessary to actually print the documents in the first place. But it also includes the cost to customer service after the year-end tax forms have been delivered. You have corrections, you have phone calls coming in, you have your staff spending time on issues that they don't normally spend time on. You may be managing multiple suppliers. You may need to use a supplier to create your data files. You may be using a supplier to print your forms, or you may be using a supplier to actually produce the documents for you. But those are all fixed expenses that come with producing your tax forms annually. Organizations typically do not focus on this process because it's a fixed budget line item. They have to do it every year. They don't think about it until it's time to do it. And there's no pre-planning annually on what they want to do. From a cost perspective, a client has first to consider their administrative expenses. Every year they have the time associated with not only preparing the information that has to be delivered to the tax form recipient, but they also have to look at the time associated with getting the right documents together, and ordering the right documents and receiving the right documents, or working with the vendor that they've chosen to work with to prepare this information to actually be able to be printed and delivered to the recipient. The second expense, and probably the largest expense that an organization has, is their mail costs, their postage cost. And that cost continues to rise year after year. And the post office, with changing their address standards and making it more complicated for mailers to get reduced postage rates, is making it more and more difficult and making those costs continue to rise annually. The third area where companies see a large expense is in the post-mailing servicing. Once the documents go out in the mail, you can expect anywhere upwards of 10+% of these documents to come back via return mail. Those all have to be dealt with. They have to be addressed correctly and gotten back out to the recipient, which is additional mailing costs. And in addition, those documents that were incorrect and have to be corrected. You have to handle the customer service calls, which takes time away from your staff. You have to get the documents correctly. You have to reprint them and remail them. Well, businesses want the opportunity to lower their expenses in delivering their year-end tax documents. One of their best options or best practices would be to look at electronic adoption or electronic delivery solutions. And we know that mail's not going to go away. People are always going to want their tax documents in the mail, but there's a large percentage of individuals who will want to adopt receiving their documents electronically. They're going to get them faster, they have access to them when they need them, and people want that type of service. So the best option is to find an organization that can single source and can help you manage the processes you have to go through to be able to deliver these documents electronically, but also manage those individuals who still require these documents to be delivered in the mail.